Samuels once again dominated the Cleveland Browns training camp today. Yeah, day 4 went out there and threw 3 TDs. 3! I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. My dog went out there and just stood up in that paint and delivered. Put up that tracker that ESPN Cleveland posted. You see the numbers right there. Once again, Shedeur led the charge, and he led the room for his quarterback competition. Once again, like I've been telling you, put it back up there. Joe Flacco, the one who y'all say gonna be the starting quarterback, is the worst performance of the day.
Day 4 of Browns training camp was supposed to be business as usual, until Shedeur Sanders walked in and turned it into a 7-on-7 massacre. 3 touchdowns. 0 hesitation. Pure chaos. Coaches were side-eyeing each other like, wait, he's on our roster? Defenders looked like they were stuck in a Scooby-Doo chase. Somewhere on the sideline, a clipboard didn't survive the carnage. If you thought Shedeur was just media hype, guess again. He showed up with proof, swagger, and rocket launcher accuracy. Grab your popcorn, this isn't a recap, it's a highlight reel in cleats.
It's training camp season. Today we're looking at the Cleveland Browns and getting another look at Shedeur Sanders. We're going to watch him throw the ball around, work through some drills, everything else looking good today. We're looking good. We're back on track of stacking days. No more equipment managers catching balls, running routes. We got to work with the second team from what I've read. Might get some other things out there. But we were stacking days. I saw some people trying to track stacks.
Day 4 of Browns training camp was supposed to be a snooze fest. Hydration breaks, warm-up stretches, a couple of routine throws, and the standard rookie stay humble talk. The usual midsummer NFL grind where the biggest headline is a tweaked hamstring or a QB airmailing a screen pass. Then Shedeur Sanders decided he'd had enough of the monotony.
It's not always about, let me put a frozen rope like he showed you he could do yesterday, right? What does he do? Okay, I need this ball to drive. And I think that's why he kind of came out, not just because of that, but he's like, oh, I need to, he saw him coming across here. I can't just let this hang, right? I can't let this ball hang. I need to drive it down. So I think that's why he did that. He probably cheated his step there. So it looked weird, but the ball comes out not too high, doesn't linger too long. I need to get that to Deontay right now. And I think he also felt like he was a little rushed too, because I think he felt like the ball needs to be out now. Right?
If you're enjoying, please subscribe Shedeur Sanders to the channel. It helps more than you think. 3 touchdowns later, boredom was dead. Vaporized. Shedeur didn't just dominate training camp. He hijacked it. He kicked down the door, set the depth chart on fire, and casually walked off like, yeah, y'all needed a show, right? Now, to understand why everyone at camp was staring like they just saw a UFO land on the 40-yard line, you have to rewind.
Again, that's Shedeur Sanders out there performing like a big-time quarterback, like a franchise quarterback that we know him to be. Well, once again, I looked over there on X, former at Twitter. G. Bush of the Barbershop posted these comments right here. Posted up there so they can see. G. Bush went out there and said, and he tweeted, Andrew Berry, who is the general manager, and Kevin Stefanski, who is the head coach, they had to come down there and see what Shedeur was doing.
Shedeur rolled into Browns camp not as QB1, not even QB2, but as that kid with the Hall of Fame dad and a TikTok fanbase. Translation, a rookie carrying extra baggage and a bullseye the size of Ohio on his back. The narrative? Nice little story. Deion Sanders' son trying to make a name for himself. Probably good for a few highlights, maybe a handful of solid throws, a couple of quotable interviews, and then he'd fade quietly while the vets took over.
First touchdown for Shedeur Sanders. He's dropping seed. Let him right in that spot where he has it and can turn and can get into the end zone. If y'all want to argue about who went where, we got the official numbers that Shedeur Sanders threw that touchdown against the 2s. It wasn't against the 3s. Now, it wasn't against the 1s. It wasn't against the 1s. But, I mean, we running out of excuses. We running out of things to say. Oh, wow. Look, who would have thought? Who would have thought? How about another touchdown while I'm doing this part for Shedeur Sanders? I mean,
That's what they thought. But day 4 shattered that little bedtime story like it owed Shatter money. Let's talk about those 3 touchdowns. This wasn't your typical camp fluff. These weren't safe checkdowns or pity reps to keep him busy. Shedeur was threading needles like an NFL surgeon with a chip on his shoulder. He made defenders look like extras in a low-budget football movie. One by one, they got toasted, fried, and sent back to the huddle with their dignity in question. Every throw had purpose. Every read looked surgical. And every touchdown screamed, "Why is this man not on a billboard yet?" Camp observers went from "he's doing okay" to grabbing their phones, furiously typing tweets like their rent depended on it. Shedeur wasn't just participating. He was running the camp like it was his personal pro day. Coaches? Oh, they were trying to act cool. Scribbling on clipboards, pretending they weren't getting cooked by surprise. But you could see it, that little twitch in the eyebrow, that confused look like, wait, did he just throw that off platform across the middle, into triple coverage, and hit? Yeah. He did. And he made it look disrespectfully easy. Meanwhile, the depth chart started sweating. Let's be honest. Deshaun Watson isn't exactly sitting on untouchable status these days. And while the Browns aren't exactly screaming QB controversy, you could hear the whispers forming. You know, the kind of whispers that sound like, hey, what if we're looking at the future and we just haven't realized it yet? But the real comedy? Watching the defenders react. After each touchdown, it was like watching a group of dudes slowly realize they just got cooked by a rookie, and not just any rookie. One with swagger, timing, and a deep ball that could probably knock the wind out of a linebacker if he stood too close.
We were talking about the opportunities, and it was kind of bleak because there were instances where he just wasn't getting looks. They would do a portion of 11-on-11s and he wasn't out there. Or he'll get a little bit of the red zone work or a little bit of this. It'd be mainly with the threes. Or he'd be catching balls or throwing balls to equipment managers. Like, now we're getting opportunities, and at the end of practice, they let the young guys cook. They let him and Dylan Gabriel get some opportunities, which is a great thing to see.
Receivers? Living their best lives. Suddenly catching balls in stride, flashing grins like they just got upgraded to first class. It was a Shedeur Sanders highlight reel, starring everyone else as unfortunate background characters. And if you think this was just a fluke, let's talk about what Shedeur brings that's different. First off, this man isn't just a football player. He's a brand. A mindset. The kind of guy who walks into the locker room with media training, a perfectly crafted Instagram post ready to go, and the accuracy of someone who's been throwing bullets since birth. He reads defenses like he reads social trends, fast, precise, and 3 steps ahead. You're not getting flustered chaos from Shedeur. You're getting calculated chaos with a grin. And let's not forget, he's the son of Deion Sanders. He's been around greatness longer than most rookies have been around breakfast meetings. This isn't a kid learning the ropes. This is a QB who grew up holding the ropes and occasionally turning them into chains for drip. His college tape? Disgusting. From Jackson State to Colorado, he made secondaries question their life choices. The man knows pressure. He's lived in it. Breathed it. Turned it into fuel.
Kenny Pickett yesterday threw quite possibly the worst pass in the history of Browns training camp. Shedeur Sanders apparently is throwing not to receivers but to equipment guys. They've got equipment guys like Jug snapping him the ball and then also running the routes. I don't know, Mahomes is throwing to Kelsey. Shedeur is throwing to equipment guys.
So when training camp tried to give him a seat at the rookie table, he turned it into a throne and asked for a crown. But here's the real kicker, Shedeur's success isn't just about him. It's about what he represents. Black quarterbacks still deal with the unspoken checklist. Can he read defenses? Does he have pocket poise? Is he really a quarterback or just an athlete with an arm? You know, the kind of questions that mysteriously never pop up for a guy who threw 17 interceptions and still got drafted in round 2 because of intangibles. Shedeur doesn't fit their mold. And he's not trying to. He's rewriting it. With every perfectly placed ball, with every confident drop back, with every "who just did that" play, he's torching the old script. And yeah, it's early. It's just training camp. But let's not act like day 4 didn't rattle some cages. Because while the Browns coaching staff is still trying to downplay it, and the vets are throwing him the occasional "good job, Rook," deep down they know, this ain't normal. This isn't your average rookie popping off. This is a movement with a spiral. So what does this mean for the Browns?
If you were to walk up to me right now and say that Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback when it comes to the Cleveland Browns roster, I would believe you. When I looked at this performance, when I looked at exactly what he did today, there is no way you're going to sit here and tell me that he is not the best quarterback up there. Hands down. I know he went with the tools, but at the end of the day, he can only control what they give him. And he's consistently outshining everybody else.
Well, QB2 might be up for grabs. And that should scare everyone who thought they had job security. Because if Shedeur keeps dropping dimes like this, they're gonna have to invent a new label. Emergency starter, future face of the franchise, break glass in case of Watson. Take your pick. And don't be surprised if other teams start circling like vultures in the preseason. They see the arm talent. They see the composure. They see the headline. Shedeur Sanders, future QB1, just waiting for the call. Every preseason snap he gets now becomes must-see TV. Because people want to know, was day 4 a spark? Or the beginning of a wildfire? Spoiler alert, it's already burning. And while some rookies beg for playing time, Shedeur is branding himself into the Browns' future plans whether they like it or not. Forget safe. Forget humble. He's not here for participation trophies. He's here to light up the depth chart, shake the system, and casually toss 30-yard lasers like he's playing catch with fate. And here's where we hit the uncomfortable but undeniable truth. Shedeur Sanders isn't just fighting for a roster spot, he's dragging an entire stereotype behind him like a tackling sled. Because let's be real, if Shedeur's name was Chad Wickersham IV and he looked like he just got back from a lacrosse retreat in Connecticut, this entire camp would be calling him QB2 by now.
Receipts. Oh, the beautiful receipts. We are ready to go. Right here on the barbershop, man. G. Bush is right off the road. Let me shrug my shoulders. Let me do my thing. Let me get my collar together. It was a hot and steamy practice in the morning. But guess what? It's only right that you come back and you cook like Shedeur Sanders did today.
But no, instead we're stuck in the same old deja vu loop that black quarterbacks have been navigating since forever. The NFL has a history of treating dual-threat QBs like UFO sightings, fascinating but suspicious. He's athletic, but can he read a defense? Great arm, but does he have pocket discipline? Never mind the 3 laser beam touchdowns Shedeur threw like he was doing target practice at a carnival. Nope. Somehow, there's still a weird, but can he play quarterback, energy floating around like a bad Wi-Fi signal. And let's not ignore the Deion-sized elephant in the film room. Every time Shedeur does something remotely impressive, there's this lazy narrative that he's just a beneficiary of Daddy Prime. Like his DNA is somehow doing all the work while he's just along for the ride, sipping Gatorade. But here's the thing, being Deion's son doesn't help you thread a needle between 2 safeties. It doesn't teach you how to read a cover 2 disguised as a cover 4 with a nickel blitz. That's film work. That's hours on the whiteboard. That's earned. The truth? Shedeur isn't asking for hype. He's surviving it. While some rookie QBs get the potential pass, he's under a microscope with the dial cranked to prove it every day. And somehow, he is. With receipts. With spirals. With calm footwork while defenders collapse the pocket like folding chairs at a barbecue.
Today, okay, Saturday, had 3 touchdown passes at Browns training camp. I don't think anyone had any more, according to ESPN stats that they're following on Cleveland. ESPN, he was 8 of 11, 3 touchdowns. So I know he is yet to get some first team reps. I do believe he probably needs to get some first team reps. He is going in a battle versus Dylan Gabriel. He has a really good shot at getting some reps with the first team, if not already had.
It's the Lamar Jackson effect all over again, except now it's pre-draft. There's always been a hesitance to let black quarterbacks just be quarterbacks. It's either he's an athlete, he's raw, or maybe we move him to wide receiver. Shedeur's saying, "Nah, I'm good right here, under center, running this playbook like a Wall Street spreadsheet." So now let's zoom in on the Browns. Because Shedeur's 3-touchdown clinic didn't just rattle some defenders' confidence, it rattled the depth chart. This wasn't just a good day. It was a make the coaching staff suddenly question their QB2 plan kind of day. Dorian Thompson-Robinson better start looking over both shoulders because Shedeur isn't just nipping at his heels, he's swapping out his cleats mid-rep. Could Shedeur realistically snag that QB2 spot this season? Let's look at the facts. He's got pedigree, poise, and performance. The NFL isn't about age or resume anymore, it's about who looks game ready. If preseason games showcase even half of what we saw at camp, then the Browns may have a rookie who leapfrogs the chart on pure execution alone. Preseason snaps are coming, and Shedeur has to get them. You don't cook up a training camp like that and then sit the bench in August. It'd be malpractice. Give him real-time reps, let him run the 2-minute drill with the second unit.
Look at the QB tracker. When you look at it, Joe Flacco, he was 4 for 8, no touchdowns. Okay, we already know when it comes to Joe Flacco, he's not going to be out there getting a lot of reps. We already know that. Shedeur Sanders, the best performance of the day. He was 8 for 11 with 3 touchdowns. Out of 11 passes, he managed to get 8 of them, which means he only had 3 incompletions. And this was all red zone. Everybody was in the red zone. Like I said, you know, I know he was in the twos, he was with the twos, but I don't care. I don't want to hear it no more. This man is the most consistent quarterback on that roster, bro. There's no way you're going to sit here and deny his talent. You have a gem in the rough. You really caught. The Cleveland Browns really caught.
Let him test the waters in a blitz-heavy scenario. Why? Because what we've seen so far isn't a fluke. It's calculated football from a quarterback with ice in his veins and receipts in his playbook. Now, let's talk chess moves. Could Shedeur be trade bait? Maybe. But that'd be like finding a diamond and then pawning it for grocery money. The smarter move? Groom him. Develop him. Because let's be honest, Deshaun Watson isn't exactly the NFL's definition of stability right now. Between injuries, PR storms, and the occasional "what was that throw" moment, the Browns need a solid plan B. And what better insurance policy than a guy who's already shown he can lead, adjust, and deliver under pressure? Shedeur gives the Browns options. That's what matters in today's league. Not just a good QB, but a flexible one. Someone you can plug in without redesigning the offense or downgrading the tempo. Someone who's already battle-tested by expectation and media heat. So where do we go from here? Simple, keep watching. Because day May 4th have been the breakout, but what comes next will decide everything. Eyes are now locked on his next few camp performances. Every rep, every read, every throw, they all matter more now. He's moved from just a camp body to let's take another look.
Shedeur Sanders, let's get into it. Love this drill right here. He's staying after practice. And this is pretty normal for guys, especially rookies that don't get a lot of reps with the ones, but he's putting in the work. He's not only showing to his teammates that he's willing to work, but maybe this is a drill, where it looks like a quick screen to the left, and he's just doing quick footwork. It could have been because he missed a throw, or something to your left is just not working in your mechanics, but I do like what he's doing.
And let's be real, if Shedeur strings together even one more day like that, we're not talking about him as a promising backup anymore. We're talking QB stock rising faster than Dogecoin after a Musk tweet. The Browns could be sitting on a franchise-altering decision, and they better not fumble it. Because here's the thing about hype, it fades. But production? That sticks. And Shedur's not chasing hype. He's building evidence. Game by game. Camp by camp. Rep by rep, so don't blink. Don't scroll past. Don't assume it's just a viral moment. This isn't a one-off. This is the start of something dangerous. And Shedeur Sanders? He's just getting warmed up. Day 4 was a warning shot. And if you blink, you'll miss the rise. Because Shedeur Sanders didn't come to the NFL to learn. He came to remind them. Remind them that talent talks louder than press clippings. Remind them that swagger with substance is lethal. Remind them that he's not just Deion's son. He's the future your scouting department swore they didn't miss, but absolutely did. And now? He's got receipts. 3 of them. All touchdowns. All day 4. Sleep on him if you want. But he'll just keep waking defenses up, one spiral at a time.